Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth NFL podcast. I'm your host, Anish Gupta.
And I'm your host, Srikar Ajendran.
We're back with another mock draft. As you can see, I'm rocking the glasses. So if there's some reflective glare, just bear with us. But super excited. This time we got Srikar on. We had Donnie on for the last one, had loads of fun with it. But now it's time to get the big guns, the big stepper into this. So I did evens last time. I'm gonna do odds. Took some convincing, but I got it done. And this is gonna be a mock draft with trades. So we've got a couple of those lined up. Um, it's on a different platform this time because PFF wants to be funny and not allow trades. So Pro Football Network, big shout out to them. Um, and I did say a disclaimer in our last one, but we did record it prior to a couple of draft moves. Um, like for example, Keenan Allen is now a Chicago Bear, which that's cool. And I believe the Vikings traded up to 23 with the Houston Texans moving down. So luckily, this software has it updated. And honestly, let's just get right into it, bro. I think enough talk.
Yeah, do it.
Uh, yeah, so I got pick one as I'm taking the odds, and not much to really say. Kind of as last time, I'm going Caleb. Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC. Obviously, we are doing this now after the Justin Fields trade. Quick thoughts on it. I think it was great value for what the Steelers got. Low risk, high reward type of player, and even if he doesn't start right away, he's going to see some time, I think. And he's pretty dynamic. He fits kind of what they're building over there. And as a Browns fan, I was not happy about it. So that's just my thoughts on it. Shriek, you agree? Caleb's got to go here now, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we had from the start. They're going to take Caleb Williams. Just lock that in right now.
All right, pick two. What are you doing?
Pick two, Anish let me know before we started recording that Jaden Daniels is now the betting favorite here. I'm still going to go Drake May. I think he's a great fit for the Kingsbury offense. A lot of people are saying Jaden's more that guy. I still think Drake could be really good within the system. He plays some hero ball, so he's going to have his fair share of picks as a rookie. I mean, and what rookie really doesn't? Unless your name is CJ Stroud. I mean, you're going to turn the ball over. But he'll also make some big time plays, right? And I mean, based on what the Commanders have done in free agency, I don't think they're going to trade back. I've heard some stuff about that. I don't think for a second you trade out of two. I think they're ready to go in on a QB, and I think May is going to be their guy.
I think they gave that away when they traded Sam Howell. I think, yeah, they're for sure going quarterback at two. They're doing enough research on it. Adam Peters knows what he wants. Um, Now, again, this is what we think will happen, not what we think should happen. Uh, Drake May is what I think should happen, but I think Jaden Daniels will go at two. Even regardless of the betting favorite stuff, I just think that Washington's had their run with the UNC QB, and they've done enough research on both. I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is the better guy. Me personally, again, as I just said, I would take Drake May, but just got an inkling that Jaden's going to go at two. But Drake May, again, they're getting a quarterback at two, and regardless of which, I think the viewers, and just the NFL media in general will be like, okay, they got a guy. Let's see what they can do. Now pick three. The Patriots, what are they gonna do? I'm making a trade. Trade number one. I know you guys probably have an inkling on who's gonna go up. Last time I did it with the Chargers at pick five. Things are a little different with them now needing a receiver with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both gone. So I think they stay at five. Shrikar was heavy on this. I tried to poach him for the Cardinals. He wouldn't let me. So I had to say, okay, if Minnesota's going to jump the gun, who the hell are they going to get? How are they going to make it so that they could solidify a quarterback for themselves? Now, pick three, you have some options, and obviously they're doing research on both. Everyone thinks JJ is kind of a shoe-in for the Vikings, especially after the private workout. But when you got a guy like Jaden Daniels up there, things start to shift. And with the Patriots, you just have so much value that you can get out of this pick. They've definitely sent scouts to other quarterbacks, right? Is Jaden Daniels this generational guy above all of the other ones? If Drake May goes at two, no, I don't think so. I think if Drake May was at three, they would happily take him, but now he's not. So I'm gonna kind of just propose this trade kind of live in front of you guys. Again, bear with the simulator. It takes a lot to get these trades done, so this isn't the most realistic thing. But I'm just gonna say it. I think this is actually a real possibility, though, if they go up to three. I think they would give up the 11. I think they would give up the 23, and I actually think they would give up their 25 first for the Patriots three. Let's kind of just see if this works out. It does. Obviously, there would probably be some shoe-ins. The Pats would give like a day three pick or something, and the Vikings give a player. But whatever. We got the Vikings at three, and you know, now I'm actually poised with the decision. Do I go Jaden or JJ? I think if they were at three, they would probably go Jaden Daniels. So three quarterbacks off the board, just not the three teams you thought in hindsight. So, Shriek,
Yeah.
thoughts?
I mean, and I think I'll say it this way. This is what we think they will do, not what they should do. Me and Anish both think that New England should stay at this pick, and get your guy at three because you really need a quarterback. Next year's class isn't that great. So, I mean, but I think for me, the Pats also need to do some things for their future QB, building the O line. So they still need some help elsewhere. And having pick 11 and pick 23 can help with that. Plus, you get next year's first. Um, it may seem like a lot, but the compensation for the third pick just keeps going up, especially when you're desperate for a QB. And obviously, yeah, as he mentioned, the shoe in also to sweeten the deal a little bit. Um, I've been hearing a lot of buzz on JJ McCarthy, but I agree with you. I'd go Jaden Daniels. I think the Vikings could be high on JJ, but it is smoke season, right? If you're trading up to three, you got to take the legit, top tier, super talented QB. Um, Now, I guess in terms of a prospect, my only knocks on Jaden Daniels is he's got a thin frame, so I do wonder if he can handle so many hits in the pros. And he also had a really, I mean, this isn't a negative on him, but he also had a really good offense at LSU. Actually, this isn't a knock on him at all. This is actually helpful. He had two first round receivers there, and now you get to be coached by Kevin O'Connell. You have the best receiver in football with Justin Jefferson alongside Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, who was just added to that offense. So they're ready for a QB. They're ready to make a move like this, because you're not going into the season with Sam Darnold. It's just not going to happen. So I agree. I think Jaden should be the guy. You go for the more talented prospect here.
Yeah, pick four. What you gonna do now? I mean, you weren't willing to part with it. I think I know why. There's
Yeah,
a guy up there who's available.
I mean, Arizona clearly needs a receiver. Honestly, I think it's become really close between Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors recently, to the point where I'm kind of 50-50 on who they're going to take, because there's been a lot more buzz around Malik Neighbors being the number one receiver for teams. He's just more of a do-it-all receiver. He can play inside and outside. Um, yeah, really torn, but I'm leaning Marvin Harrison. They're all safe choices, so I won't say I went the safer route, but again, they really need a receiver. Hollywood Brown and Rondell Moore are both gone. I don't think the Cardinals changed their mind here. I think they've essentially always wanted Marvin Harrison. And if you kind of switch your thinking, sometimes it can backfire. So I think they'll stick with MHJ here.
Yep, MHJ, pick four. Makes a lot of sense. So pick five, the Chargers. I think they're kind of set in stone now. Like they've made it very clear what they want to do. They don't need to trade up. They don't need to trade down. They do need a receiver. And obviously, I think it's going to come down to Malik or Rome. And what you did say made a lot of sense in the way that it's okay, right? Like Malik and Marvin is getting closer than I guess Malik and Rome. I think that part is kind of true. And I think for the Chargers, Malik fits what they're trying to do. They need a guy who can play inside and out, and that also maybe gives Quentin Johnson or Johnston that chance to finally be that outside threat that they are just praying he could be. Let's do it. Let's do Malik Neighbors at five.
Yeah, I think if they still had Keenan, I'd go Roma Dunze, but um, they cut Mike Williams, they trade Keenan Allen. I think Malik Neighbors is the Keenan Allen replacement, because Keenan is a do-it-all guy. Neighbors do-it-all guy. I think pretty easy pick there. Um, and a pretty easy pick at six as well. The Giants have saved their receiver need for the draft. They did some work on the O-line. They made their splash by trading for Brian Burns. I don't think they go QB. They signed Daniel Jones to that huge contract. He didn't really get a fair shot last year. I mean, I don't really make excuses for QBs, but I would like to see Daniel Jones in a full season with a better O line, better receivers. They also added Drew Lock, who should be a solid backup. So they're not going to go QB. They'll go Rome and Dunze here, get the last of the big three off the board. And I think Rome will be that big time outside receiver for them and their best receiver since OBJ, right? I mean, so another easy pick here. Give me Rome.
Yeah, he will be the highest Giants drafted receiver ever. Yeah, this doesn't come all around often. First round receiver since Odell 10 years ago. So hopefully he can kind of be that guy. And yeah, he would honestly already be the best receiving threat Daniel Jones has had. So yeah, you're right. I think he fits the mold. He's played kind of in that rainy, cold weather that New York can throw at him. And again, I've been one to say he's benefited a lot from playing in a stacked offense, but yeah, this is his time to shine. Like they're gonna rely on him a lot. And again, I wanted a guy for them that could play more on the outside, while a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson could play in the slot. Great pick. 7 Titans, easy, same as last time. Joe Alt, absolute dog. Bill Callahan gets his toy. This is going to be a prodigy, an immediate guy that you could play right on that tackle spot. It kind of flourishes, this young growing O line that they have, and yeah, I'm really happy with that. That like the Titans should be ecstatic to get Joe Alt at 7.
Yeah, after the Ridley move, I think we could literally just lock in tackle for the Titans at 7. I'm personally torn between Joe Alden and JC Latham. Last mock I did, I had JC Latham. I'd probably pick him again. I just feel like he feels more like a Callahan guy. And there's a lot of buzz on Latham from league sources. But I think Joe Alt is still a good pick. As long as they went tackle, I think that's fine. Atlanta at 8, I like Dallas Turner a lot for the Falcons.
Mhm.
He's the best pass rusher in the class, in my opinion. Um, to the Falcons, they have their QB in Kirk Cousins. They have their receivers, their weapons. I mean, they're literally just an edge rusher away. Maybe another corner, but like they can survive without another corner. They have good coaching on defense with Raheem Morris. So I think Dallas Turner's a great fit for that defense. I mean, this is just a freak athlete. He had great production. I think he's an absolute game changer and the best edge rusher in this class. So we'll give him to Atlanta.
I disagree with you on that last statement. He's not the best edge rusher in the class, but he's got a lot of production. He's a great player, and I think he is probably what Atlanta would want because he's safer than the best edge rusher in this class. Um, I won't spoil it till I pick him, but yeah, I also kind of had Dallas Turner there. I just think he makes a little bit more sense for what Atlanta's trying to do. He kind of fits that Raheem Morris scheme. Kind of a guy that you can just lay out in a 5 tech and just let him work. So yeah, Dallas Turner at 8, great. Now pick 9. Shriek heavily wants this pick, so we're gonna kind of usher in another trade. And Shriek, do you want to kind of tell him which team it is, and then I'll do it from there, and I'll make the pick. But
Yeah, this trade kind of got facilitated because I mean I was at 12, but we also facilitated the 3 and 11 trade. But the Bears are going to be trading back, and the Broncos are now on the clock for one guy in particular. And I'll say it once the trade goes through. But
keep in mind, wait, quick disclaimer. I know you're seeing all these picks. This
yeah,
is literally just to like make the trade go through. That is not what they would give up.
yeah,
Um,
I'll outline the actual like trade and what it would be. So I would be if I were the Broncos, I would give up a third and a sixth in addition to 12. I think that'll get the deal done and move up 3 spots into the top 10 here. And at 9, they're gonna go JJ McCarthy. I don't know. JJ just feels like a Sean Payton guy. They haven't addressed QB because they're going to be saving it for the draft. I think Sean Payton is just going to go get his guy. And they had to jump the Pats, which is kind of the reason behind this trade. Um, and also the Bears only have 4 picks this year. Like they really need more. They didn't get a 2024 pick for Fields, which I found really surprising because again, you needed picks in this year's draft, not next year's draft. So now, assuming a third and a sixth go to Chicago, now they'd be up to 6 picks, which puts them in better standing. Um, However, if one of the receivers ends up falling, if one of the big three ends up falling, I would stay at 9 if I was Chicago and take a receiver. But again, I think the Broncos get their guy. JJ, he kind of fits that Drew Brees mold. I'm not saying he is Brees, um, but I think Sean Payton is going to see some sort of shade of him in JJ. So again, I think the Broncos just get their guy here.
Yeah, four quarterbacks in the top nine, and yeah, as you said, they want to ensure it. They want to make sure they get him there. I honestly think he would probably slip anyway to 12, but since the Pats are at 11 there,
The Pats
right?
are
Then they get
completely.
yeah. See, but the Pats get yeah. So then the Broncos get a little scared, and they're like, okay, let's move up to 9. And yeah, I can see that with kind of how this is going, just because best quarterback available, they trade up for him, they get him. And yeah, I can see that. Okay, let's go to pick 10. This one's interesting because look, I still probably would say the Jets can easily go okay, so they just took Mike Williams. They have Tyron Smith, they have Morgan Moses, right? They have a lot of O-line pieces. Now, the question is, what do they do? Because I'm seeing Fuaga there. That's probably the guy I would still give him. But you've got Brock Bowers right there, and you could give the Jets another generational pass catcher. Because it's right now it's Garrett Wilson, it's Mike Williams, it's Alan Lazard in the slot, right? And it's an O line that's pretty good, but it's not great. So
Well,
my
keep
two
in
options
mind that
here,
Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses are on 1 year deals.
yeah. So I was getting to that. So I think it's going to be between Brock and it's going to be between Fuaga. And I think they would still go in this scenario, right? The thing is, quick thing on the 1 year deal though, like they're trying to win now. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, and what necessarily would help him more? Would it be more depth at tackle, or would it be a guy that would be a really good pass catcher from day one?
I'd still argue more
So
depth at tackle because Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses both have durability concerns.
true, but I think they would probably get a guy here that can immediately help him in the pass catching department. This would be one of the best tight ends that Rodgers has had since, dude, like Richard Rodgers maybe. And I'm gonna go a little bit bold here. I've had Jets take tackle for like an insane while now, but I'm gonna go a little bit bold and give them Brock Bowers. And Brock goes to 10, which is very interesting. Again, I just, I think it would be a weird pairing, but it would give the Jets a really solid offense for a year, and I think they can get tackle depth in the second or the third round. They don't need a guy that's going to come in right away, as you said, because they've got two tackles. But yes, they are a little bit injury prone, and they can go with some more depth. Maybe they trade back into the first round later, but I think just really hard to pass up on a guy like him, who's going to be a great pass catcher for the Jets for years to come. And again, Mike Williams is also on a 1 year deal. So you get Garrett Wilson, you get Brock Bowers. I like this. And then I'll take pick 11 as well with the Pats moving back. We kind of also mentioned it. Hey, they need some O line help. They just let go of Trent Brown. And right here, I would probably go with JC Latham. I think he's a guy that would fit what they're doing. Um, Top 2 to 3 tackle in this class. Um, just really solid pad level and great size. I think he's like 6'7", 340 or something like that. Uh, More pro ready than the other guys like Olu and Fuaga. So I go Latham at 11, and the Bears are on the clock for you at pick 12.
Yeah, I'll riff a little bit on those two picks. I completely disagree with the Jets pick. First of all, I don't think they would take a tight end in the top 10. And two, like you mentioned it yourself, like Aaron Rodgers has worked all these years without a tight end. He doesn't need one. Like I think you can still get away with getting a tackle. Fuaga would have been fine. I think Latham would have been great at that pick. Um, but yeah, I would have gotten a tackle personally, just because Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses are both aging vets. They're both on 1 year deals. They're not sure things in the slightest. So there's that. And then, but I do agree at 11 going O line for the Pats. If JC Latham wasn't going to go there, he should go at 11. Um, but yeah, I agree with that. If they were going to trade back and get those two picks, they would have to address O line first, and then I think they would have to go QB. But at 12, the Bears on the clock. Again, the Bears now have 6 picks, looking a lot better after the trade. Um, and I'm gonna go Jared Verse here because I think a move back made sense if they wanted Verse in the first place. But personally, I'm not the biggest Jared Verse fan. I don't even know if he's a top three edge rusher in this class for me. I would take, yeah, he's not top three. I think I'd put him at four because I would take Dallas Turner. I'd take Chop Robinson. I'd take Laiatu Latu over Jared Verse, but still very good. High motor, very physical. He had a good combine. My one problem is he comes up kind of stiff. I just don't think he has great bend. But Aberflus will probably like him in that defense. I think Byron Murphy could also be good here. Brian Thomas is possible since it kind of feels like Keenan Allen's a rental, but I don't think they would reach. So yeah, I think I'll just go with Jared Verse for them.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think he's right the same tier as Chop. I think it's those two at like three or four. Yeah, the Bears would get a guy who's paired right next to Montez Sweat. They would really like this a lot. The Raiders can do a lot of things here. Um, I think they put themselves in a good spot to where I think DB's got to be it. They could also, this is a bold one, but they could also go Byron Murphy Jr. or Byron Murphy the second to pair with that immense D line that they already have because they do run a 4-3. But I'm just thinking they've already invested a lot into it, right? Would kind of corner be a better move here? And I'm just kind of looking at, there's also some O line you could go. Again, with the Raiders offensive line, it's not the greatest, right? But they do have Colton Miller, who they like at tackle. And it's like, who do they really, I'm even forgetting who their right tackle is. Oh, here we go. It's Thayer Munford Jr., who I really don't know much about. But I mean, yeah, you paid a lot already for Christian Wilkins. You don't necessarily have a good right end, but I think this one's tough. I think I'm actually gonna stick with what I had from last time with Donnie, and I'm actually gonna go Byron Murphy here to make that line even greater. Just because I think Jack Jones and Nate Hobbs is fine. I think they're looking at their O line. They're saying, okay, it's not that bad. We can get a tackle later. But to make this D line with Max Crosby, Wilkins, and Byron Murphy, I think they'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, I like Byron Murphy a lot. I think he could definitely go there. I think I would have went Terry on Arnold, but if I mean, I love Byron Murphy, so I don't mind that pick at all. 14, the Saints on the clock. I think if Brock Bowers was available, I think he'd be the pick here, but he is not. So we're gonna go to O-line for the Saints, and I'm gonna go with my guy Troy Fautanu here. Look,
Whoa.
I mean, I've always been high on Troy Fautanu. I mean,
Yeah.
Saints need O-line help. Obviously, Trevor Penning is not worked out. And Fautanu, easy mover, really athletic, really nasty blocks on tape, and he can get to the second level quickly as well. Look, that Washington offense was that good because of the O-line. So I think Troy Fautanu can play left tackle. He could slide inside to guard. He's very versatile. Whatever they want him to do there, he'll be able to do it. So I think the Saints go O-line here.
Agreed. I just probably would have taken like Olu just because I think they need more help at that for sure tackle. And Fotanu's, I don't know if he's got that
I get
NFL
that, but
tackle build. I think he's more of a guard uh, in the NFL. And I think they're happy with Hurst and Ruiz. So um, I think they will go O line if this is how the draft will play out, though. I just think I probably would have taken Olu, who's a little bit more of like a for sure. He's raw, but he's more of a for sure tackle.
honestly, I don't like Olufoshanu that much. Like, I don't really see the hype, especially just off tape. But that's my personal opinion. If you think they were gonna go Fashanu, that's completely valid. Like, but the matter is they have to go O-line.
Yeah, in this spot they would. 15, I'm kind of sticking with what we did. I mean, I just don't know how they would pass up on Quinion Mitchell here. The Colts, they what do you call it? They have Kenny Moore, but they still need that outside corner. And I know that it's been a favorite of every team, especially at the Senior Bowl. Like this dude shot up. I mean, we were kind of keeping tabs on him even at Cal, and it was just like, wow, this dude was phenomenal at the Senior Bowl. Quinion Mitchell goes to the Colts at 15.
Yeah, I could definitely see that possibility that Mitchell could be the first corner off the board. I personally think Terrion Arnold is just that guy, but Quinyon Mitchell really good as well. I think they could have also went edge rusher if they wanted to lay out Latu at this pick. I think that also would have been a possibility because they were really targeting edge in free agency, but they got pretty much outbid for guys like Daniil Hunter and Jonathan Grenard. So I think they could dip into that edge pool as well. But at 16 with the Seahawks, this is a really, really easy pick. We're going to go Talisi Fuaga here. Tackle out of Oregon State. I think the Hawks definitely need O-line. And I think Fuaga is just too good to pass on. I think they'd probably move him to guard. They already have tackles, but I think in
Yeah, that's
general,
I don't know if he's necessarily a guard build.
I
Like
think
I
he
think he's a
can.
little too big.
I know. I definitely think he can play guard. You could play him at right tackle if you wanted. I know they signed George Fant, but like it's George Fant. Like who knows if he even starts. Uh, but yeah, I think honestly he has really, really good potential at guard. Like I think that could work as well. But again, they need O line. I think Fuaga is just way too good to pass up here.
Yeah, I mean, considering their front seven already, it's like Jerome Baker, they've got Mafe, they've got Big Cat, they've got Draymond Jones, who hopefully can do better with Mike McDonald, and Nwosu on the other side. So they're kind of happy with their front seven. So I think, yeah, Fuaga's probably the best available lineman here. So I guess I'll give you that in a way. They could maybe also go, but they already invested heavy in corner, so they wouldn't go corner. And then the Michigan, or not the Michigan, the Minnesota safety, I think it's Tyler Rubin,
Ruben?
just too high. Yeah, too
That's
too
too
early. So 17, the Jags. The Jags are in an interesting spot here. I mean, I would think because they just took Anton, right? Anton Harrison, the tackle. And they just like heavily invested in their interior line. So Jackson Powers Johnson is just not on the table here. Just got Eric Armstead, who again would probably play more of an end role just because of how they do their 3-4. So the Jags, I'm thinking, would probably go corner here. I think corner is probably the way to go. And it's either gonna be Arnold or Wiggins. I like Kool-Aid a lot just because like they didn't throw the ball to him at all. Um, they have Campbell on the outside. I think they would probably go. It's either Wiggins or Arnold here. I think they would go Wiggins just because it's more size, and yeah, I think Wiggins has a little bit more size, a little bit more raw for sure, but you can take a chance on a raw, more lengthy, sizable corner, rather than kind of Terry on Arnold here, who did have a little his lapses on tape, but I think Nate Wiggins is kind of the guy they go here. Just, I mean, he tested super well. He's really raw, but with a guy like Tyson Campbell and Ronald Darby there, you can kind of take a chance on a guy like this.
I don't mind it. I do think I agree with them going corner. I think Arnold is the most sure thing in this class, though. So I probably would have went him, but I don't mind Wiggins at all. Corner was definitely the right move there. Bengals at 18. I think you have to go O line, and
Whoa, whoa, no.
I think
They
we're gonna
got
go. I think I'll go Amarius Mims here. Lots of
they
upside.
just signed Trent Brown.
Yeah, even with that, I think you could still afford to draft an O lineman because it's literally the
You
Bengals.
wouldn't take Arnold at 18?
Nah, nah, I
They
don't think
need
so.
DBs. Who do they have at corner?
Wait,
They just lost to
who's
They
their other
lost to
tackle?
Wouzier. They
Wait,
lost Cam Taylor Britt.
who
They don't have anybody.
who is their other tackle opposite Trent Brown?
Orlando Brown?
Oh yeah, wait, they'll go corner. They'll go corner. Yeah, give him Terry on Arnold. I low key forgot. Give him Terry on Arnold.
Okay.
The
You
slide end,
sure?
the slide end. No, yeah, we'll go corner. That was just
Okay.
a lapse
Yeah.
by me. Um, but yeah, I think corner's got to be the play here.
They
You know,
have to. They don't have a
Trent
they
Brown's
don't have a
also on a
second corner.
Trent Brown's also on a 1 year deal, so I could understand if they still wanted to go tackle. Um, because again, 1 year.
I think it's a lock for corner, bro. Ever
But
since they
yeah,
got
we'll give him BPA. We'll give him Terry on Arnold here.
He's not the BPA because the Rams are going to get the BPA. I've mocked this pretty much every time, and I'm super ecstatic about it. You don't know because you're not on the West Coast, but Laetu Latu is by far the best edge. It's not close. This guy's
I
tape
think
is
that's just
unbelievable.
Pac-12 bias.
No, there's no Pac-12 bias on this. Like, he's insane. You can talk to any scout out there.
On the West
They all
Coast,
love his
right?
tape.
In the Pac-12.
Uh,
You can talk to any scout
no,
in the
no,
Pac-12.
no. Any scout in general, like they all, aside from the medical stuff, his tape is just insane. I mean, Like he's so good. His bend, everything about him. I just wish there wasn't any medical concerns with the neck, but there is. He's phenomenal. And the Rams get their guy to. I mean, it's not even an Aaron Donald replacement. He would have played so good with him, but they just need a game changer there, and they get their guy. This is Edge one, like it or not, tape
Dallas
wise. This is
Turner.
Edge one.
Dallas Turner still edge one, but Latu is a production machine. Definitely has big playability. I mean, you can drop into coverage, chase the QB, whatever you want him to
I will
do.
say this. I'm gonna hold on. Highest pass rush win rate ever in college. Okay, and he was PFF's by far like greatest rusher. I mean, it was like 95 grade for the last 2 years. He leads the league in sacks and pressures over the last 2 years.
Well,
He's
thankfully, I don't put much stock into PFF. So,
What about
19,
sacks? What about sacks and pressures over the last 2 years? And pass rush win rate.
and I'd also look at opponents, and I'd also think about different conferences, and I'd also
He
think about
played.
different
He played.
situations.
The Pack was the best conference, the deepest conference in the last 2 years.
No, I think Dallas Turner's faced tougher competition.
I don't know. I think he's face deeper, dude.
But anyways, I don't mind
No,
the
no, let's wait. I wanna talk about Latu more though, because like if he goes 19 and he's slipping because of the medical concerns, you're getting a guy sacks, pressures, win rate. Do you think he makes up
I had him
for
going earlier than this in my last mock. I don't know.
do you no,
I
hold
don't
on,
hate
forget
Latu.
that. Do you think he makes up for what they lose in Aaron Donald?
No, they don't play the same position.
No,
That
but can he make up for the overall like defensive line? Because they do. This is
I
like,
mean,
I
it's
mean,
a good
we didn't
piece
really
to
talk
add.
about AD's retirement. Like that's because my thing was like, oh my God, they get AD and now you get a young rusher to pair with him. So the only thing with this is like, okay, can he handle it on his own?
I would still say no because even if they drafted Byron Murphy in this spot, it's not Aaron Donald. It's not the same impact at all. So the overall makeup of the D line is obviously just going to be worse. But again, that Latu still is a good piece to have. Like he's still going to be a great edge rusher. I think he'll pair well with Byron Young. But look, I think Byron, if even if you got Byron Murphy, that D line would still be worse because Aaron Donald retiring, it's exactly what it is. It's Aaron Donald retiring.
Yeah.
It's a huge impact. So moving on here. Again, I'm fine with Latu at 19. Makes sense. At 20, Steelers on the clock. Let's see. I think this could honestly be the spot where Brian Thomas goes. Um,
Whoa, whoa.
big time receiver.
You
Super
wouldn't take
talented.
JPJ, the
Nah,
interior
I've
lineman?
seen O-line. I mean, I've seen O-line a lot, but I think they're gonna go receiver. Especially if a guy like Brian Thomas is on the board. Um, obviously they traded Deontay Johnson. They still have George Pickens. Um, you would kind of be getting a guy like Brian Thomas who's in that same mold as Pickens, like a big body
Yeah, I don't
receiver.
know if they would.
But Arthur Smith is their OC. Arthur Smith likes big body receivers. He likes big frames. So I think it would make sense in that vein. Um, I could see Lad McConkey as well if we were going to go down that route, but it's way too early for him. So I'd have to go Brian Thomas here. I think they get another receiver. And honestly, Brian Thomas could go earlier as well. This is honestly, for how good he is, he could go earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good receiver. I personally think AD Mitchell, based off his combine test, would probably go before him. But they're both good. Yeah, I think if you were gonna go receiver at 20 for the Steelers, I would have probably taken AD. But this just gives me kind of a layup, I guess, for the Dolphins. I think you got to go interior line and take Jackson Powers Johnson. I just don't
Oh, I
see.
would have I would have went Fashanu.
I I just don't. I mean, because they have. Ooh, actually, yeah, they could go. It's tackle or interior, but I think it. Hmm. So they have Teron Armstead. They have Robert Jones, who I don't like. Isaiah Wynn. Oh, they just signed Isaiah Wynn. Hmm. I think it's either JPJ. Yeah, it would be Fashanu or one of the other. Hmm. The only thing is, could they just Austin Jackson didn't work out. Nah, yeah, you kind of convinced me. I think okay, we'll go Fashanu here. Yeah, we'll go Fashanu just because I think yeah, Austin Jackson didn't really work out. It gives me a way to bash USC. So let's go for Fashanu. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean the Dolphins need their tackle of the future. Again, I'm not a big Fashanu fan. I didn't love the tape. Like I'm just not seeing this big hype around him. Um, but I think it's not a bad pick for the Dolphins, and he's going to be learning from Teron Armstead too, which is great. So that makes sense there. 22, the Eagles on the clock. Honestly, I kind of want to go bold here for the Eagles. In team needs, I can see linebacker there. And the Eagles have been decent in free agency. They added some linebackers, but they aren't sure things. Like they're kind of just 1 year deal guys. None of them are really high end. But my issue is the Eagles just don't value linebackers. Like they don't do that. Like so
Nah, they won't, bro. No way.
I'll do it. I think this is where they start. We're gonna go to the linebackers real quick. I think it's got to be Cooper at this pick, just because like I don't. Cooper's the best guy in this class, in my opinion. Just a do-it-all guy. He can blitz, he can cover, freak athlete, really rangy. I think he has a lot of potential, and he can play edge as well. So you'd also be getting a potential edge rusher here. But Edgar and
You
Cooper,
locked in on this?
Edgar and Cooper's the pick. Yep, I'm gonna lock that.
Wow.
Very
That
bold, very bold.
that is yeah, that's whoa. Um
I just don't see
yeah,
where
I've
else
seen
I
him.
would go.
Oh wow. I okay, first of all, I think Peyton Wilson is like far and away the best linebacker in the class. He's an ACC guy. You should know
No,
ACC.
I know.
Like
Yeah, I
he's
still do.
dude, he is his tape is crazy and he tested in with a 4.43. I I
Yeah,
think
but
I think Peyton Wilson
I just
is
love the upside with Cooper. Like I just feel like he's gonna be really good. I don't know. Peyton Wilson's really good too. Don't get me wrong, but
I think Pate is linebacker one. I mean, this just makes me happy as a Browns fan because then Pate would probably slide down more. But yeah, I would have probably if they would go linebacker, it would be Peyton Wilson. But I think the Eagles probably would have gone corner. They could have taken Kool-Aid, even Cooper DeJean maybe. But I think Kool-Aid would have been the guy just because they teams did not throw at him. Like he was super locked down. But at the Pats at 23, I get a guy here. Call it a reach if you want. Again, this is what I think in this particular scenario will happen, not what I think should. Let's go Bo Nix at 23. And yeah, I mean, watched him a lot. He definitely benefited from a good offense. He helped it thrive. Very mistake-free football, played, through really accurate pass. Has experience in the pack and the SEC. Um, yeah, I think the Pats, quote unquote, get their guy in this scenario with a ton of capital in future drafts.
yeah, it is pretty bold. But I mean, you got to take a QB in the first round just so you have the fifth year option. So you get your QB in the first. The O line got set up with the Latham pick, and now you get your QB. Bo Nix doesn't really wow me, and I don't think he has a lot of upside, but I think he's definitely pro ready. I think he can learn the playbook quick. They can plug him in week one. I think it's worth a shot at 23. And 24, the Cowboys on the clock. This is a layup for me. I'm going Jackson Powers Johnson. They have the need at center. He should start right away for them. The question is, how early would you take a center? Because a lot of the best centers in the game were taken later, but um, I think at 24, Jackson Powers Johnson would still be the right pick here.
Yeah, you could go there. I'm also thinking since like Cowboys fans, again, you know this. I said this last mock, but Terrence Steele, they hate him. Like they despise him. So they would probably I mean, Mims is a little too raw to start right away, but you can develop him like you did Tyler Smith. Same thing with Tyler Guyton, a little bit of a raw guy, but you can develop him. So I mean, yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson, a guy you could go here. Um, Dude, even like Johnny Newton, why not? I mean, like they could go BPA and him. Like they have so many options at that pick, which is fine. I think they're happy with this. The Packers with Bakhtiari being gone, I think there's a couple options that you go here. I think their line played really well even without him, right? And do they want to take a guy right away that again, as I said, they would have to develop in Mims or Guyton, or they get a guy right away that would help them, right? And I don't think they necessarily obviously would need Johnny Newton because they have Wyatt and Kenny Clark, so they wouldn't do that. Um, I think DB is the answer. It's not necessary. I mean, you could get the Minnesota safety like we did last mock, which again Packers fans probably wouldn't want. So you know what? I will please you, Packers fans, and I will give you the guy that you've been wanting. I will give you Cooper DeJean.
Oh no.
He's a versatile DB. I know Packers fans want him. He could play pretty much anywhere, and yeah, that's where I think the Packers would go.
It's kind of just messed up my next pick. I honestly would have went Johnny Newton and paired him with Kenny Clark because I don't think Devontae Wyatt is like that great, but I understand. You could go
Really?
linebacker, but
He had a pretty good season last year.
it's a bit early, so no. Instead of corner, I think they'd rather go safety. Pair someone with Xavier McKinney. So Cooper DeJean definitely fits that mold. At 26, what corners are available? Kool-Aid's on the board for the Bucks. Yeah, I mean they just traded Carlton Davis, so they need a corner. I think this is where Kool-Aid would go.
There you go. Yeah, I think
Um,
this is probably where they would go, and I'm very happy with that. I think they would be ecstatic to get him.
yeah, I
Again,
think that's the pick.
Cape was great. Yeah, good pairing alongside Jamel Dean. He's
Mhm.
got the size, got the length. I think that's a good pick. 27. The Cardinals are on the clock. So we've given him Marvin Harrison. The question is, what do they do here? I think they got to go edge. Like Chop Robinson is just screaming my
Yep.
name. So
Yep.
I think they would take Chop Robinson here. And I think Cardinals fans would be very happy with that.
Yeah, Chop could go a lot earlier. Probably my number two pass rusher behind Dallas Turner. Not to bring that up again, but I feel like the lack of production, the shorter arms, that's going to drop him a bit in this draft, but I think he made a lot more of an impact than the stats show. An elite get off, very explosive. I think he'd be great for Jonathan Gannon. So yeah, I feel like that's a layup pick there. This is not a layup pick. 28, I have no
We can do a
idea.
lot here.
Um, I was going to go corner, but there's no corners available that's going to be like value at this pick. Um,
Yeah, we've taken all of
yeah,
them.
I mean, Rakestraw maybe, but I wouldn't
No,
go
no, no.
at 28.
No
Uh,
way.
what receivers are on the board?
Hoo-hoo-hoo. Come on. I'm looking at a guy.
Let's go with AD Mitchell at this pick.
Thank you. Yeah. If they
Go
go
AD.
receiver, I think that's the guy.
Yeah, because you need a guy for Gabe Davis. I think this makes a lot of sense. Pair him with Stephon Diggs, another weapon for Josh Allen.
No Xavier Worthy in the top 20?
No,
Like
I heard a lot of buzz on it after Combine Week, and it's kind of died down. So I do think he
Oh
still.
my God. You have no idea when we did that earlier how mad I was like, dude, this is
I
not
do
gonna happen.
I do still think it's a possibility, and I do think he's
No,
still a first
no,
rounder.
no.
But yeah, I won't
It's
mock.
not happening. And just to make you angry, even more angry, I'm gonna do it for the Lions again. I just don't understand why they wouldn't do this. Graham Barton at
Because they
29.
got Kevin Zeitler.
I still think they would take a guy here. They got to take Graham
I
Barton.
I mean,
I just don't know who else they would go with. Like I just feel like because
I guess, but like,
they took Reader, so Johnny Newton's kind of out of the picture. They
oh,
don't need a
actually,
receiver.
this works out perfect for me. 30, the Ravens on the clock. Let's go Xavier Worthy at this pick.
Not a tackle?
No, I'm going receiver. Again, a lot of buzz after the combine. People were saying he could be the fourth receiver off the board. Um,
Xavier Worthy?
I
Are
mean,
you sure?
The
Over
Ravens,
Keon Coleman,
yeah, yeah.
over Guyton
Keon
or
Coleman has
Mim.
been falling so much this whole process.
Okay, but over Guyton and Mims
Yeah,
after losing Moses.
I think they would go receiver.
All right,
And also
Xavier
the
Worthy
Ravens,
is the
they
pick.
love their speedy receivers. They love their speed guys. I think Xavier Worthy has that big playability. He can play inside and outside. I was thinking about Lad McConkey because of his ties to Todd Monken, but I just think Worthy fits what the Ravens are trying to do a little bit more and what they typically like. Um, and this sets me up at 31. Let's go Amarius Mims. Uh,
Oh,
I'm,
you just took the pick.
yeah. Did you want this pick? You can
No, no,
have
no, you got it. I was thinking
it.
Jordan
You can have it. You
Morgan,
can have it.
but
You can have it.
um,
I'll let you have it.
I was gonna probably go line. I think Jordan Morgan has the best chance to play guard for you guys, though, right? out of all
I
these
wouldn't
guys.
reach on a guy like Jordan Morgan if a tackle was there who could learn behind Trent and also serve as depth.
I'll let you take because it's your team. I'll take 32. You want to go Mims here?
Yeah, I want Amari Mims here.
All right. Cool.
Um,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's a raw guy. Just I mean, I like you said, I mean, like he's real like he could be really good. And I think like the Niners kind of want a guy that maybe yeah could, serve for Trent. The Chiefs can do a lot of things with this pick now. I mean, dude, Johnny Newton fell in our drafts. And the thing is, dude, this would be so perfect if, like I guess Chris Jones, they do run a 4-3. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give him Johnny Newton. Like that's just gonna make teams so mad, but it's gonna happen. So wow, I guess it just did that. But let's do the full results here. This is our mock. Um whew. What do you think? If Chiefs got Johnny Newton, how'd you feel?
honestly, I wouldn't do it. I'd go receiver. I'd probably go Lad McConkey at this pick, just because
Yeah,
they
that was
did
what I
add
was thinking
Hollywood
too.
Brown, but it's a 1 year deal.
Yeah, so this is the draft. I mean, Johnny Newton, 32. I think teams would be mad. Shriek, you said receiver is a possibility. I think so too. But man, how about this? All right, I'll ask you, okay, I'll ask you a couple questions. One, who do you think got the best, like, who do you think won this draft in terms of circumstance, like where they were picking, what they did? And yeah, who do which pick do you not necessarily like?
Oh, I think Arizona won this draft pretty easily. Getting Marvin Harrison and Chop Robinson at 27, like
Yeah.
you got a top two edge, in my opinion, top two edge and the best receiver in this class. Like that's and especially the value of where you got those guys. I think the Cardinals definitely won this draft.
I like that. I think that's a good one. I think the Bears emulated the Texans also. You get Caleb, you trade back, and you get a pretty good edge as well, with some extra picks, as you were mentioning. So I think that's also up there. Again, I'm big on Latu, so I think the Rams would be very happy if he somehow fell to 19. Again, it's just kind of how it happened with our board, but as you also mentioned, he could be drafted earlier. I think the Bengals are very happy with Arnold at 18. He's a really good corner. But yeah, I would say the Cardinals are up there. The Bears, just I mean, again, who they took, right? Like Caleb's a generational QB, and Jared Verse still a good edge, regardless of where you rank him. He's still a first round talent. I still think the Chiefs getting Johnny Newton, who with how good he could be, I think the Chiefs would be very happy
I
with
was also
that.
going to argue the Raiders getting Byron Murphy is fantastic, like
Yeah,
really good for
the
them.
value at 13. Bills would be happy with AD Mitchell. I don't even know if he gets to 28, dude, but I think the Bills would be very happy with a guy like that. Tested super well. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good draft. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Definitely some bold moves by me and him. I think Brock at 10 was a bold one. Uh, uh, I'm forgetting who you took. Oh yeah, Edgerrin Cooper at 22 is a bold one too. So let us know what you guys think. Anything you would have done differently for your teams. But with that being said, we've been the Cold Hard Truth NFL podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.